the committee report on the sugar fiasco was already terminated, and the committee submitted the committee report to the plenary this morning. And it was signed by 14 senators, members of the Blue Ribbon, with one dissenting opinion. So 14 out of 17 members of the Blue Ribbon signed the committee report with one dissenting opinion. So the committee report will be read by the General Counsel, the gist of the dispositive portion, the resource persons and persons affected by the sugar fiasco virtually present are hereby notified of the said committee report, which is now a public document. May we ask the General Counsel to please read the said committee report. Go ahead.
With the permission of the Honorable Chairman. Acting upon and under the directive of the Honorable Committee Chairman of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, Senator Francis N. Tolentino, I will read from the dispositive portion of Committee Report Number 3, filed on September 8, 2022. Wherefore, premises considered, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee recommends the following remedial legislation. Number 1, amendment of relevant legislation such as Executive Order Number 18, Republic Act Number 10659, and related laws to inject transparency and accountability in the process of issuing import permits and other critical issuances. Number 2, amendment of Executive Order Number 18 to provide for the expansion of the Sugar Regulatory Administration Board to 8 members, with the Secretary of Agriculture continuing to act as ex officio chairman, and the addition of sectors represented, such as additional board members to represent the consumers, both industrial and household, sugar industry workers, sugar transportation sector workers, and other stakeholders in the success of the sugar industry. Number 3, amendment of Executive Order Number 18 to prohibit the delegation of the authority of the SRA Board to reclassify sugar. Number 4, a review and rationalization of the sugar importation policy of the government. Number 5, full funding for the SIDA Law or Republic Act 10659. And number 6, it's also recommended that the SRA immediately prepare a sugar importation plan with appropriate safeguards clearly specified for review of higher authorities. The committee further recommends to the Honorable Office of the Ombudsman the filing of the following charges against the following personalities. Number 1, there is preliminary evidence on record indicating that the public officials involved in the sugar fiasco, namely Undersecretary Sina Sebastian, former SRA Administrator Hermenegildo Serafica, board members Attorney Roland Beltran, and Mr. Balderama, have committed the administrative offenses of serious dishonesty, grave misconduct, gross neglect of duty, conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service, and gross insubordination under the revised rules on administrative cases in the civil service. Number 2, for criminal cases, the Blue Ribbon Committee recommends that the following charges be initiated against Undersecretary Sebastian, former Administrator Serafica, and board members Beltran and Balderama as follows. 1 count of a violation of Section 3A of Republic Act 3019, otherwise known as the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. B, 1 count for a violation of Section 3E of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. C, 1 count of a violation of the provisions of Republic Act Number 10845 otherwise known as the Anti-Agricultural Smuggling Act of 2016. And finally, one count of usurpation of official functions defined and penalized under Article 177 of the Revised Penal Code. Let a copy of this committee report be furnished to the Department of Justice, the Commission on Audit, the Office of the Ombudsman, for their information and appropriate action. Let a copy of this committee report be also furnished to the Bureau of Immigration for the inclusion of the names of Licadio S. Sebastian, Hermenegildo R. Serafica, Attorney Roland B. Beltran, and Mr. Aurelio Gerardo J. Valderrama Jr. in the Immigration Lookout Bulletin, so adopted by the committee.
General Counsel, the committee secretary is directed to transmit the committee report to the appropriate government agencies for the filing of the proper cases relative to the committee report. The committee secretary is so directed. The
Mr. Chairman.
minority leader is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The minority manifests that we will be filing a separate report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
The committee, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee will now resume consideration of the PSDBM DepEd laptop hearing controversy. The resource persons are now required to sit again in the witness tables where they were seated a few minutes ago.